I googled some things for this video that probably put me on a watch list. You're welcome. Today, I'm talking about pure nightmare fuel. A parasite that spends an entire year growing inside you before it slowly tries to crawl out. You'll also learn how recently doctors started performing surgery on newborns without anesthesia. And I'll cover the one spider bite with a side effect so embarrassing that survivors refuse to talk about it. I'm Mike with List 25, and these are 25 random facts that are too strange to Google. 25. Powdered human skull in hot chocolate. For a few hundred years, ending around the 1700s, Europeans casually practiced medical cannibalism, and nobody thought twice about it. Doctors prescribed remedies made from human bones, blood, fat, and ground-up mummies, and patients from peasants to royalty swallowed them down without hesitation. Powdered human skull was the most popular ingredient. Physicians believed that since the skull held the brain, well, it must cure headaches and brain ailments. King Charles II of England was so obsessed with this cure that he paid a fortune for a recipe involving crushed skull dissolved in alcohol. He called it the King's Drops and sipped it regularly. Other doctors mixed powdered skull into hot chocolate to treat bleeding and strokes. The bodies came from executed criminals, stolen mummies, and battlefields. The English imported Irish skulls by the barrel to sell to German pharmacies. This all happened while Europeans were condemning indigenous people in the Americas as savages for their own rituals. The irony was apparently lost on everyone. 24. Giraffes are lightning magnets. Standing between 15 and 19 feet tall, giraffes are basically walking lightning rods on the African savanna. Lightning strikes the tallest object in open areas, and giraffes are absolutely crushing that category. Between 1996 and 2010, multiple giraffes got hit by lightning strikes, including Betsy the giraffe at Disney's Animal Kingdom in 2003. Their height is bad enough, but their four-legged stance makes things worse. When lightning strikes the ground nearby, electricity travels up one leg and down another, passing straight through vital organs. Scientists studying giraffe remains in South Africa found cracked skulls from direct strikes. Statistically, giraffes are about 30 times more likely to get struck by lightning than humans. Being the tallest animal on the planet has its perks, but this is definitely not one of them. 23. Blowing smoke used to be literal medicine. In the 1700s, if you drowned in the River Thames, there was a solid chance someone would try to save your life by blowing tobacco smoke into your rear end. And this wasn't some fringe quackery. It was official medicine backed by the Royal Humane Society. Doctors at the time believed tobacco smoke would warm the body from within and stimulate breathing. The procedure was so mainstream that resuscitation kits containing bellows, tubes, and fumigators were installed at stations along the Thames for public use. The society even paid 4 guineas to anyone who successfully revived a drowning victim using this method. One of the earliest recorded cases from 1746 describes a husband who used his pipe to resuscitate his drowned wife. A sailor passing by told him to insert the stem into her rectum, cover the bowl with paper, and blow hard. She apparently woke up. The practice finally fell out of favor in 1811 when scientist Benjamin Brodie proved nicotine was toxic to the heart. By then, secondhand smoke had taken on a whole new meaning. 22. Humans are the only animals with chins. Look at your face right now. Feel that little protruding bit below your lower lip? That is exclusively yours as a human. Every other mammal on Earth doesn't have one, and nobody knows why we do. Scientists have been scratching their heads over this for decades and still don't have a definitive answer for why evolution decided humans need chins. Our closest relatives, chimpanzees and gorillas, don't have them. Some theories suggest chins help with chewing or speech, while others think they're structural byproducts of how our jaws evolved. So, the next time you're sitting there stroking your chin while deep in thought, remember, you're doing something no other animal on the planet can do. It is the most useless superpower ever, but hey, at least it's unique. 21. Male honeybees meet a brutal end after mating. Ever feel bad about your sad dating life? Well, I guarantee you it is worse for male honeybees. These poor dudes only get one shot at mating, and that shot ends with their insides ripping out. When a male honeybee, called a drone, mates with the queen, his reproductive organs detach from his body entirely. The noise is so loud that scientists have recorded it. After this experience, the male falls to the ground and expires within hours. Meanwhile, the queen flies away as if nothing at all happened. This isn't a freak accident. This is how honeybee reproduction works every single time. The male bee's entire purpose in life is to mate once and then immediately perish in the most explosive way nature could design. Talk about going out with a bang. 20. Babies don't cry real tears. Newborns scream, wail, and turn red-faced as if their lives depended on it, but those dramatic crying sessions? Tear-free. Babies' tear ducts don't fully develop until at least 2 weeks after birth, and they don't produce enough tears to cry with until they're 1 to 2 months old. Before that, all those heartbreaking cries were technically dry performances. The screaming communicates their needs perfectly fine without the waterworks, but once those tear glands kick in around the 2-month mark, their cries become even more impossible to resist. Nature decided babies needed a few weeks to ease parents into the full emotional manipulation package. They start with the audio and then add the visual effects later. So for the first month or two, your baby is a tiny screaming theater actor giving an Oscar-worthy performance with 0 actual tears. 19. You can't sneeze with your eyes open. Go ahead, try it right now. Try sneezing with your eyes open. I'll wait. Yeah, you can't do it. Your body automatically slams your eyelids shut every single time, and there is nothing you can do to stop it. Scientists believe it's a protective reflex designed to shield your eyes from whatever cloud of germs exploded out of your nose at 100 miles an hour. Some people worry that if you somehow manage to sneeze with your eyes open, your eyeballs would just pop out of your skull. Now that is a myth, but good news. You can't test it anyway because your body has decided this is non-negotiable. Your eyelids are hardwired to slam shut the second a sneeze is coming, whether you like it or not. It's one of those involuntary reflexes your body controls, like breathing or blinking. 18. Your skin weighs 15% of your body. When you step on a scale, 15% of that number is your skin. For an average adult, that's about 20 to 30 pounds covering your entire body. You are walking around wrapped in 20 plus pounds of organ, like some kind of biological suit. Now your skin is your largest organ, and it's constantly working overtime, protecting your insides, regulating your body temperature, fighting off diseases, and giving you the ability to feel everything you touch. It's doing a million jobs at once while weighing as much as a small dog. Even weirder, you're replacing all of it constantly. That 20 to 30 pounds covering your body right now? Yeah, different skin than you had a month ago. Every single cell has been replaced. You are wearing a brand new skin suit every few weeks, and your body handles the whole operation without you noticing. 17. 700 plus bacteria species live in your mouth. Want to hear something kind of gross? Sure you do. Right now, over 700 different species of bacteria are throwing a party in your mouth. Scientists call it the human oral microbiome, which sounds way more official than Bacteria Mouth Festival, but well, that's what it is. Now, before you run to gargle bleach, most of these microscopic tenants are beneficial. You need this balanced ecosystem of bacteria to stay healthy. They help with digestion, fight off harmful bacteria, and keep your mouth functioning properly. Disrupt this ecosystem, and you're looking at infections and serious health problems. So yes, hundreds of bacterial species are living rent-free in your mouth right now, but they are paying their way by keeping you alive. So just think of them as your tiny roommates who clean up after themselves and occasionally save your life. 16. You shed 50 million skin cells per day. Remember that 20 to 30 pounds of skin we talked about earlier? Well, you're losing pieces of it constantly. Since you started watching this video, you've lost about 40,000 skin cells. By the end of the day, you'll have shed 50 million. In 30 days, your entire outer layer of skin will have replaced itself. You're not metaphorically a new person every month, covered in different skin. Snakes and lizards shed dramatically all at once, but humans do it constantly and invisibly. Those dust bunnies under your bed? A disturbing percentage of your own skin cells are mixed with that regular dust. You're leaving microscopic pieces of yourself everywhere you go, floating in the air, settling on surfaces, becoming tomorrow's dust pile. Every handshake, every hug, every time you sit on the couch, you're depositing thousands of cells like some kind of biological confetti cannon. It's happening right now, and there's nothing you can do to stop it. And that number probably skyrockets up for those of us with psoriasis. 15. Postmortem fetal extrusion is real. We need to talk about coffin birth. And yes, it's as disturbing as it sounds. Postmortem fetal extrusion is when a deceased pregnant woman's body expels the fetus after passing. Not during, after. Here's how it happens. As gases build up during decomposition, the pressure inside the body increases until it forces the fetus out. It's not an actual birth, but it creates the appearance of one. Archaeologists have discovered medieval graves where this occurred, and it's been documented in modern forensic cases too. This is rare, but it's real, and it's been happening throughout human history without most people knowing it exists. Medical examiners and forensics teams are trained to recognize it. The rest of us got to live in blissful ignorance. Until right now. 14. Your stomach acid can dissolve razor blades. Your stomach produces hydrochloric acid so powerful it can dissolve a razor blade in less than a week. Scientists proved this by running an experiment where they dropped razor blades into beakers of stomach acid and watched them disintegrate. Definitely not one you want to try at home. The acid in your stomach right now, the same acid helping you digest lunch, is strong enough to eat through metal. The only reason your stomach doesn't digest itself is a thin layer of mucus that acts as a protective barrier. Your body produces a new mucus lining every 2 weeks because the old one gets destroyed by your own acid. Without that consistently regenerating slime shield, your stomach would eat itself from the inside out. 13. Men have more belly button lint. Guys, this one's for you. Ever wonder why your belly button accumulates more lint than your partner's? Well, science has an answer. Body hair. Belly button lint is made of skin cells and clothing fibers, and researchers discovered that body hair acts like a lint conveyor belt, pulling fibers inward from your shirt every time you breathe. Your chest and stomach hair drag fabric debris toward your navel all day long. The hairier you are, the more your body collects particles like some kind of biological lint trap. This is why women, men with less body hair, and anyone with an Audi produce significantly less lint. And that's Audi as in not the car. If you're tired of excavating lint but don't want to shave, you finally have a scientifically valid excuse to go shirtless more often. You're not being lazy. You're reducing lint accumulation for hygiene purposes. 12. You're 1 centimeter taller in the morning. You are taller when you first wake up than when you go to bed. And I'm not talking about posture. Overnight, while you're lying down, your spine decompresses, and the soft cartilage between your vertebrae expands. You're stretching out while you sleep. Throughout the day, gravity gradually compresses that cartilage in your spine and knees, squashing you down by about 1 centimeter by bedtime. Athletes and people doing heavy physical labor lose even more height during the day because they're putting extra pressure on their joints. If you want to measure yourself at your absolute tallest, do it first thing in the morning before gravity starts its daily compression routine. By nighttime, you've been squeezed shorter. 8 hours lying horizontally resets everything. 11. Your white blood cells can turn against you. We've talked about helpful bacteria in your mouth and stomach acid dissolving metal, but what happens when your white blood cells, the good guys of your immune system, lose their minds and turn on you? That's necrotizing fasciitis, and yes, it's every bit as terrifying as the name suggests. Bacteria release toxins that cause your white blood cells to go haywire and start destroying healthy tissue. Your immune system, the thing supposed to, protect you, starts consuming muscle, fat, and skin at a rate of several inches per hour. The worst part? It's not the bacteria doing the damage, it's your own body's defense system misfiring catastrophically. Amputation is often the only way to stop it from spreading. Your body can betray you in the most horrific way possible. 10. Your eyes can get sunburned. Well, we finally made it to number 10, and this one's going to make you never look at the sun the same way again. Most people know you can get sunburn on your skin. Duh. But your eyeballs can also get fried by UV rays. It's called photokeratitis, and the symptoms are not fun. I'm talking headaches, eye pain and redness, excessive tearing, blurred vision, eyelid twitching, and a gritty sensation like sand scratching your corneas. Skiers and people in snowy environments are particularly vulnerable because snow reflects UV rays directly into their eyes like nature's worst mirror. The good news? Eye sunburns usually heal within a few days. The bad news? Well, you learned your eyes can get sunburned and now you're going to be paranoid about it every time you go outside. Sorry. 9. Mammals can breathe through their intestines. Scientists in Japan figured out that mammals, yes, including humans, can absorb oxygen through their intestines. Intestinal respiration. It's real, it works, and medical researchers are taking it seriously. Japanese researchers pumped oxygenated liquid into the rectums of pigs and rodents to see what would happen. The animals survived with significantly better oxygen levels. Their intestines absorbed the oxygen and distributed it through their bloodstreams like a backup respiratory system nobody knew existed. Scientists are now exploring whether this could work as an alternative to ventilators during medical emergencies. That's not science fiction anymore. That's actual medical research happening right now. 8. You produce enough saliva to fill 2 swimming pools. Over their lifetime, the average person produces approximately 40,000 liters of saliva. That's enough to fill 500 bathtubs or 2 full-size swimming pools. Even more unsettling, you'll produce 6 cups of spit by the end of today. Right now, your mouth is actively generating saliva. Saliva serves important functions like neutralizing stomach acid, eliminating germs, preventing tooth decay and gum disease, and fighting bad breath. But knowing it's useful doesn't make the volume any less disturbing. 2 swimming pools worth of spit, all manufactured inside your mouth over the decades. You are a saliva factory operating 24/7 for your entire life, and there is no off switch. 7. Your nose produces a cupful of mucus daily. Every single day, your nose produces about 1 full cup of nasal mucus. That's not during a cold or allergy season. That is normal, everyday production. Most of it drips down the back of your throat without you noticing, which is actually somehow way more disturbing than if you saw it coming out the front. Your body needs this constant mucus production to trap dust, bacteria, and other particles before they reach your lungs. It's a defense mechanism working around the clock to keep you healthy. But knowing you're swallowing a cup of nose goo every single day kind of makes it hard to feel grateful. Hey, at least it's your own mucus, right? Yeah, that thought doesn't make it any better, does it? Yeah, sorry. 6. Parasitic twins can live inside you your whole life. Sometimes when twins are developing, one twin gets absorbed into the other's body and stays there. It's called fetus in fetu, and people have lived decades without knowing they had their twin sibling growing inside them. These aren't random cells. I'm talking about partially formed body parts like teeth, hair, limbs, and sometimes even a beating heart. One man in India lived 36 years with his twin inside his abdomen. Doctors found a mass with hair, bones, and teeth. Another woman had her twin removed from her brain. It had been living in her skull her entire life. You could potentially have your twin sibling inside your body right now and not even know it. 5. Teratomas can grow teeth, hair, and eyes. We're down to the final 5, and this one is nightmare fuel. Teratomas are tumors, but they're not standard growths. These formations can include fully formed teeth, hair, bone, muscle, and sometimes even eyes. The name comes from the Greek word for monstrous tumor, which feels appropriate when some contain actual eyeballs. They're most commonly found in reproductive organs or at the base of the spine. Some people think teratomas are absorbed twins, but they're actually collections of germ cells that got confused during fetal development and started growing random body parts. Going in for surgery and having the doctor pull out a tumor with teeth and hair is absolute nightmare fuel, but it's real and medically documented. 4. Bodies continue moving after passing. After passing, the human body continues moving and making noises in ways that would terrify anyone witnessing it without warning. Gas builds up as bacteria break down tissues, causing bodies to release sounds frequently and loudly. Even creepier, bodies can sit up on their own. As muscles and tendons contract and release during decomposition, remains have been documented sitting upright or changing positions. This has traumatized countless morgue workers and funeral home employees who weren't warned this could happen. The movements are caused by natural processes, not supernatural activity, but that knowledge probably doesn't help much when you witness it. Remember that post-mortem birth I talked about earlier? Add movement and sounds to the list of things that happen afterward that nobody wants to think about. 3. Babies didn't get anesthesia until 1987. 3 to go, and this one is genuinely disturbing. For most of modern medical history, doctors performed surgery on newborn babies without any anesthesia whatsoever. They believed infants' nervous systems weren't developed enough to feel pain the way adults do, so they'd operate on babies while fully conscious and restrain them physically. Oh, the screaming? Yet doctors dismissed it as a reflexive response, not actual pain. It wasn't until 1987 that the American Academy of Pediatrics formally declared it unethical to operate on newborns without pain relief. That means if you were born before 1987 and needed surgery as a newborn, there's a real chance you experienced everything with nothing to dull the pain. That's not ancient history. That's recent enough that your parents might remember when this was standard medical practice. 2. The Brazilian wandering spider's horrifying side effect. We've made it to the number 2 spot, and this might be the most specific nightmare on the entire list. Men, this one is for you. The Brazilian wandering spider from the Amazon has venom that doesn't end you quickly. It gives you a painful, hours-long erection first. People who survived by its reported hours of painful, let's call it standing at attention, while everything else got worse. The venom attacks the nervous system, and one of its effects is uncontrollable circulation to the genitals. I'm talking priapism, a medical emergency where circulation gets trapped and causes agonizing pain. Researchers have studied this venom because the compound might lead to treatments for dysfunction, but that's a small consolation when you're experiencing the world's most unwanted and agonizing side effect. The spider is considered one of the world's most venomous. 1. The Guinea Worm. And finally, we have reached number 1, the most horrifying thing on the entire list. Drink contaminated water in certain parts of Africa, and you might ingest microscopic water fleas infected with guinea worm larvae. You won't notice anything wrong at first. Life goes on normally for about a year while the larva grows inside you. Then one day, an agonizing blister forms, usually on your leg or foot. That blister bursts open, and a white, thread-like object starts emerging from the wound. Congratulations, you've met your new roommate, a female guinea worm that can be up to 1 meter long. It is over 3 feet of worm emerging from your body. The only way to remove it is by slowly wrapping it around a stick over the course of days or weeks, pulling it out bit by bit without breaking it. If it breaks inside you, the infection gets worse. This parasite has plagued humans for thousands of years, and it's still happening today in remote areas. And there we go. We made it through all 25. And honestly, I need a shower. We covered intestinal breathing, worms emerging from legs, and spiders with the world's worst side effect. Every single one of these facts is real, documented, and verified, which means reality is stranger than any horror movie ever could be. If you want more weird rabbit holes, check out 25 insane Google facts you've never heard before right here. But before you go, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's next. Thank you guys so much for hanging out, and I'll catch you in the next one.